Big up, everybody. It's your boy, Mark and MUFC fan, and you know what it is. It's the time. It's the manager's press conference. We are about to be live. It's going to be live in the next, I'd say, 7 minutes, guys. Big up to all of you joining. Don't forget to smash a like when you get in, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a blockbuster show because Amorim is probably going to be facing a lot of tough questions in this press conference, not only based on form, but based on what's to come. The transfer window has not been off the ground running, and there are lots of things that are happening that a lot of the fans are not actually interested in at this moment. They are not sitting right with most of us, including myself. And I have to say, guys, it's one of those things where we're going to have to either be patient and hopefully the manager could get us on side and keep us on side because, for guys like me, we're going to back this manager to the bitter end. But right now, we need to hear some good news. We're going to see possibly some players leaving the club. Who's coming in? Is the player coming in going to provide that spark we need to get us to where we want to be? A reasonable finish in the league, probably keep us competitive in the Europa League, maybe get to the finals. We need Europe next season if we are going to have an amazing transfer window in the summer, guys. And that's the bitter truth. Big up to everyone joining. Of course, I'm not just streaming to Mark and MUFC fan today. I'm also streaming to MUFC Realist TV. So, guys, if you are there, don't forget to smash a like. Mick is caught up in meetings, so he's unable to join me. So it's just going to be me and you guys and the manager in the press conference as they get ready for that, which will be coming up in the next 6 minutes. Guys, before we get into that, let's talk about some things, some interesting things coming in right now. Manchester United, are they going to do any business? What are the possibilities? Of course, last night we were talking about some things in the stream and, some possible signings that might be coming in. Well, let's just discuss because the typical signings that we already have coming in, it's going to be see if they actually get them done. And the likes of this guy is a possibility where there are many reports surfacing all across Germany that state that Manchester United are really interested in making a move for Ousmane Diomande. Following a request from Ruben Amorim, as per reports, the front line has received plenty of backlash in recent times, with many blaming the club's out-of-form forwards for the size inconsistency. And not only that, but of course, we know what's going on with Marcus Rashford, the likes of Alejandro Garnacho possibly being sold, Rasmus Højlund not in good form, Joshua Zirkzee now starting to show some promise, but he's not that prolific striker per se just yet, or has not shown it in the Premier League. Under Amorim, the Red Devils have looked more composed out of possession, but their defense still managed to leak a lot of goals. Of course, we're coming off fresh off the 3-1 loss to Brighton, heading into the game in the Europa League, which is why we are here for what the manager has to say. But we know he's going to be receiving some questions about the transfer market. And keep your eyes on this, guys. 60 million euros is the cost of Diomande. There are some reports that Man United are also interested in Ait Nouri, but Ait Nouri is costing 60 million pounds as opposed to Diomande, who's going to be a lot cheaper. And of course, there's interesting news that Man United might be looking at a move for Leon's Ryan Cherki because of his cost, and he may be fitting that left 10 situation. Of course, Barcelona have reached an agreement with Marcus Rashford. It's possible that it might be a situation that might be happening. You never know what could happen. There's still some time left in the window, so we're hoping that it actually happens. Of course, for me, I'm waiting for it because guess what, guys? It's gonna be better if it happens, and the sooner it happens, the better for Ruben Amorim, the better for Manchester United, the better for the fans. Because right now, it's not really looking good, guys. It's really not looking good. You know what I'm saying? So we definitely need some things to come in and improve us and give us some hope, even so that we could go into next season knowing that we will be better. Of course, I think we definitely will be. The manager coming in when he did was not the most ideal situation. And of course, he's going to be in a difficult time. And the fans, we have to back him. The guys like you, like me, we all know what the problem is in this club. We all know the situations as is. It's nothing new. You know what I mean? So we shouldn't be mad at Amorim for the fact of some of these results because really and truly, guys, what can we say about it? We know the players weren't the best. We know that there's more to come. and we know he's a good coach. Big up to Great One in the building. We are here. Big up to Ricardo Diaz as well, popping through. And Ricardo Diaz is saying, Dinado, obrigado. I can't. I'm not a Portuguese, bro. I will try to learn some of it, though. I assure you, I will try to, because Amorim is our coach. You know what I mean? So I'll try my best to learn some. Right now, we're getting ready for Ruben's press conference. Of course, right now, they're showing a lot of different things. You know, a little bit of a clipping of the likes of, you know, the Trinity. And of course, we all know that recently Dennis Law has passed away. So, guys, you know, big up to that. You know what I mean? You know, sleep in eternal glory. And it's the most we can say. Thank you for your services, guys. We know all the legends of this club. There will be more to come, of course. But the ones who left, yeah, they've really put us where we are today. You know what I mean? In that mercurial stance, that elite setting, they all did their best to get us there. So we have to honor that. And the new players, they definitely have to honor that as well. They must, you know, learn the history. They must learn the importance of what it means to be a Manchester United player, what it means to Manchester United, not just the players, but the fans as well. So I'm excited. I'm waiting to hear what, you know, Amorim has to say today, because are the press going to ask questions about the game, or are they going to focus on transfers? And that's the interesting thing. We're just a moment away from the press conference beginning, guys. So, yeah, you know I'm rambling on, but guess what? It's coming up. Big up to the family, says Hayden Pro in the building. Big up to everyone. Yeah, everyone's all good, I believe. You know what I mean? I think we are all in the same vein. We know we're going to have to face some short-term pain so we can get some long-term gain. It's just really difficult. So you could understand the unrest in the fan base. You know what I mean, guys? It's just one of those times. But what I can say is that definitely, you know, we'll be getting there, guys. We will definitely be getting there very shortly. Waiting for these pressers to start is be the most interesting thing, guys. Have to say. Highlights. Facts. All right, guys. It's here. They haven't actually begun yet, but we're waiting. We're waiting. So. So how are you guys feeling in the chat? What are your thoughts? What are your expectations? What do you think the questions are going to be like for Amorim today? How are you think he's going to handle himself? Oh, he's there. He is there. It's about to begin. Let's see if you're right about that, Ricardo Pereira.
Tomorrow with Ruben Amorim and Harry Maguire. Please indicate who your question is for. Let's get going with
Big up.
Ruben, if I can start with you. Obviously, you had some strong words after the Brighton game. I know that. What response have you seen from your players after what you said?
First of all, I want to talk about that. I was talking more for myself than from my players, because I was talking that, and you have to find out a coach that starts a job and lose 8 games, I think, 7 games in the first 10. So it's more for me. I was talking more about me than the players. I also talk in the same response about I was not helping my players. And if you look around, every time I speak, and I speak a lot, every time you push about the players are not good enough, I never put the spot on my players. So I understand. I gave you that headline, and I'm frustrated sometimes, and sometimes I should not say that in that terms, but it is what it is, and that's it. Sometimes it's really hard to hide the frustration in some moments, but the good thing is that I said the same things in a different way in the dressing room 5 minutes before. So the response was quite normal, because I'm really blunt with my players, and they train well. They are ready for this game, and let's see tomorrow.
Harry, how does that land in the dressing room when you hear your manager describe the team as possibly the worst in the club's history?
No, I think as players, obviously after the game, we was really frustrated, disappointed, coming off the back of a good away performance and then beating Southampton. Going into the game, we was confident, and we felt like we had the belief that we can go and beat Brighton, and ultimately we didn't perform well enough on the day. So we've got to look at ourselves. We've got to take responsibility on ourselves. And as an individual, that's what I do. I go home and think about how I can help this team improve and get back to where we want to get back to. And that's challenging a lot higher than we are in the league. So for me, it's about us players just taking responsibility on ourselves and improving individually, which will help the team improve.
Harry, you've played quite well recently. I know things haven't been going so well for the team, but the manager said last week you're a leader again. Do you feel as though it has benefited you not being the captain of the club? Because, as you said recently, your form over the past 18 months has been quite consistent.
No, I wouldn't put it down to that, to be honest. Whether I'm captain or not, I do see myself as a leader in this group of players. I'm experienced now. I've been at the club over 5 years, and I know that in times when you play for this club, that there's so many ups and downs, and every game that you lose, there's a lot of scrutiny on the players, and players get targeted. And I think that's part and parcel of playing for this club. You've got to accept and take the responsibility on. And I think, look, I look at previous players, and I've spoke about this before, the likes of players like Wayne Rooney and David Beckham. They had a large amount of scrutiny on them, and they was world-class players. So if it can happen to them, it can happen to anybody. And it's part and parcel of playing for this club. And listen, playing for this club's a huge privilege and a huge honour. And I wouldn't change it for anything.
Just regarding that scrutiny, I mean, Joshua Zirkzee had some dreadful stick a few weeks ago, and he's played well since. Did you ever speak to him because you've been through similar experiences at times?
No, I sent him a message privately after the game. But listen, Josh is a good player. You don't play for this club if you're not a good player. He's got to bring that belief out and that confidence out in himself. And I always say in football, there's always another game, and there's always a next opportunity. And with Josh obviously coming on against Arsenal, he really changed the game for us. And then to score that winning penalty, probably give him a lot of confidence and belief that he belongs at this club. The fans have been brilliant with him. We have amazing fans, and they stick with us through thick and thin. And when times are tough, they really get behind you and support you. And I felt that, and Josh, I'm sure, will have been feeling that over the recent weeks. It's not really about individuals. It's more about as a team. We're disappointed as a team. We want to get higher in the Premier League and start challenging at the top end of it. And this season, ultimately, we haven't been good enough.
Sam.
Harry, can you explain? You say all the players are good players, and clearly they are the top-end Premier League players in theory. But you're not, as a team at the moment, a top-end Premier League team or playing anything like it. Can you explain why that happened?
If I could explain it, I think we'd change it straight away. I think, like you said, we've got players who's played numerous games internationally, won lots of trophies in club football. But at the moment, we're not playing well enough as a team, and the league table shows that. So I can only keep going on about it. We've got to take responsibility on as players. We've got to stop looking for excuses and blaming things. And it's really important that as an individual, you improve yourself, you come into training, you give absolute everything, and that's only what we can do.
Sorry, Ruben, I take on board what you said right at the start, but if you're taking responsibility away from the players, then you put it on you, and someone has to take responsibility for the fact that Manchester United are what, 14th in the.
I'm not taking responsibility from the players. What I'm saying that is the message that you guys show was that I was putting on the players. What I was saying is that you have to look really hard to find the team of Manchester United in 10 games that lose 7 games. In that is on me, because it's the same players doing worse with a new coach. That's my only concern in the moment. But I'm not taking anything from the players. What I'm saying is that we have to improve in the details, and I explained that. The way we play, we are too nervous with the ball, too nervous, really anxious. And then if you have a little bit experience in this game, when you fall in this type of context, it's really hard to go up, especially when you are a massive club. So that was my only point. It was the best point to do it after that loss in the way I do it. Maybe not, but it is what it is. And I'm like that all the time. So I'm not taking a responsibility from the players. I'm saying I'm really, really direct in things. I'm saying in this moment, we are performing really bad, and our results are really bad in the moment. So it's everything together, the players, the staff, the technical stuff. So I'm not taking responsibility. I'm just pointing that I'm the biggest responsible of the performance and the results, because I'm the coach and I have that responsibility.
Ruben, you've spoken a couple of times about the anxiety that you feel sometimes at Old Trafford. Is it becoming harder to play there at the moment as opposed to being away? And is there anything you can do to combat it, that feeling of kind of nervousness, anxiety when you play home games?
I think that is clear. I could say different things and say, no, it's the same thing. We have the support of the fans. No, we are more nervous playing at home than away, because we lost a lot of games, like 4 games in 5. So it's getting harder. What we can improve, I think, if we don't suffer the first goal, like in the 4th minute, and I remember like it's 4th minute, 10 minute, 15 minutes, and then it's really hard to calm down the team. So we need, the first thing in my mind is they cannot score. We need to score the first one. If we score the first one, I think that will change, and we will play better at home in the beginning. So that's it. I think it's really clear. We are really anxious playing, especially at home, and we are suffering goals, and then it's really hard. So I think it's clear for everybody that is getting harder to play at Old Trafford.
Jamie.
I think you said previously, a couple of weeks back, there's a storm coming, yes? So it's fair to say you're in the storm, yeah? Can it get any worse for you?
It must not.
Team, in terms of your position, your performances, the results, can there be thunder and lightning in the storm?
I think the most important thing is to think that we can improve right away in the next match, and then it's like that. The football can change like that. We can have a lot of ideas and thinking that it's getting worse for that reason or the other reason. Imagine that tomorrow we don't suffer a goal in the beginning and we score and we play well, and then we go to Fulham and you can win it. That will change even the environment here and everything. So I don't know. What I knew since the first day is that when I arrived and I see it, I understood that changing things, we are going to suffer. For me, it was really clear. But in this moment, I don't want to say that it's going to take a lot of time. It's getting really hard, and you guys are here for a long time, and you get lost after loss. Is really hard for everybody, and I know that. Sometimes I show that frustration, but I don't know. We can change that tomorrow.
So let me just ask you both this next question, please. You just mentioned it again then, that you're really nervous. As a player, does that help you to hear your head coach say, you and other players are nervous?
No, I think we spoke about the first goal at Old Trafford, and it's not teams are coming to Old Trafford and opening us up and tactically breaking us down. I think anybody who was at the game against Brighton, it was a 50-50 game. It could have gone either way, and we gave them a goal early on, which we knew we had to stop. We spoke about it in the pre-match. So we've got to stop giving away that first goal. That's the first and foremost thing. I think the first goal against Nottingham Forest, against Bournemouth, was a set play. The first goal against Southampton was a set play. So these aren't things that what are tactically a problem. These are things like you've got to go into the game and be focused and mentally ready to go and win a football matches. And football matches are sometimes defined on small margins. And at the moment, we're not getting them small margins because we're not mentally focused enough to make sure that they go out our way. So we know things can turn. And like the boss has said, tomorrow's an opportunity for our players to go out there, put on a performance and get the win, and then go into Sunday. But yeah, of course, we take each game as it comes, starting with tomorrow, and tomorrow's another opportunity for us to make sure that we move on from Brighton and put things right.
I didn't say I was nervous. I said the team was nervous. I was frustrated. Frustrated is different from nervous. And if you say it's good for the players see the coach frustrated, maybe not. But I didn't say I was nervous.
Saying the players are nervous. We are nervous.
Yeah. As a team, because it's always we.
Does that help the team to sort of put that thought into their head?
No. I'm saying the obviously. If you want, I can be delusional and say different things. Right. I say it as I saw it, and I said to the players, and I said to you, I think it's a good thing to be really honest with you. If you want me to say different things, you saw one thing, I saw one thing, and I tell you a different thing, I can start to do it. It's easier for me. But what I'm saying is that, and they know. And you can understand the game. If you are in the stadium, you can understand. So let's face it and work on it. But I'm not nervous. I'm frustrated.
Laurie.
You mentioned in the dressing room after the Brighton game saying these kind of things to the players directly. I'm right in saying that usually you don't say anything, you wait until the next morning. Why did you change your methods for that game? And do you sometimes feel that you need to, I don't know, you said you want to shock the club, shock the players. Was that a moment where you were doing that?
No, it was not. I didn't think. That's why. I'm a young guy and sometimes I make a mistake. And that's why I don't talk about after the game. This game, I needed to talk. And maybe it was a mistake, and then I get more nervous and go to the conference really nervous, and then you say things that you shouldn't say, and that's it. Sometimes you are a young guy and then do mistakes, and you improve. I don't promise you that I will not do it again. I don't know, so I will try to improve.
Do it, James.
Ruben, you've been honest as always about the sort of financial realities that the club are going to face this year. There's a lot of talk of Napoli and Chelsea interest in Garnacho. If the club was to get to a point where it gets an offer that it deems acceptable for a player like that, how important is it for you that you are then able to reinvest and use that money?
Guys, I understand the question. Let's focus on the game. I don't want to talk about that, especially before a game. Our focus is that our players are here to play. We need to improve. We need to win games to have that feeling of winning. It's really important for us. So let's focus on that today.
Let's take a last question from the Scottish press.
Just a question for both gentlemen, please. Just what do you expect from Rangers tomorrow night?
No, I think we expect a tough game. We know they're going to come here and give everything. They're going to be followed with great support. And I think they've done extremely well in the competition. So, no, we expect a tough game, but I think our focus on ourselves, making sure that we perform on the back of a bad defeat at the weekend, and we'll go there with confidence that we can perform and get the 3 points.
We expect, like Harry said, a tough match, a lot of physicality during the game. I know that some players, important players that from Rangers that don't play, and we have to know the new players to understand the way they play. With the fullbacks are really high on the pitch. They have talented to score in the final third. So it's one more difficult game is really important for us because we want to skip playoff. Is really important to have time to train. So I expect the same thing that we faced in the last games. A really tough match, a lot of physicality with also the fans from Rangers making some noise. So we are prepared. Our fans are prepared. We want to win.
Just one last one from Scotland.
In many ways, the situation at Rangers just now mirrors the situation at Manchester United. A lot of turmoil on and off the park. Are you aware of what's been going on in Rangers? Same idea of the fans being upset at lack of success, and do you feel for their coach, Philippe Clement?
It's it's really hard. These massive clubs, and Rangers won a lot. I think is the club with more titles in Europe. So it's really hard in these moments for any coach in any club. But I hope to improve my team before, especially tomorrow. So I feel the pain of the Rangers coach.
Okay, we'll leave it there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And that's the press conference, guys. And I got Mick Ruby in the building, pulling up straight from his meeting. Not too sure if he heard everything in the press conference, but we'll be going through it, guys. Really, we'll be going through it. So hopefully Mick has kept up, so you can.
Yeah, I took the hairdryer with me.
Oh, good for you. Good.
The hairdryer.
Glad that you have the hairdryer. So let's get down to business, guys. You know, it's gonna be it's gonna be a short one, but we definitely need to cover all your thoughts. What were you thinking as you heard the press conference? He answered every question. Maguire answered questions. It was all on the game. It's all about the game tomorrow. He spoke nothing about transfers. It's only about the players' focus on winning tomorrow, getting a result. As you can see, the final response was, we need to win tomorrow so we can avoid the playoffs, so we can have time to train. So we already know his thoughts on that. Mick, we're going to get your thoughts. Let's go into the comments right first and bring up one of the comments on what they were thinking, and then we'll get into explaining one of the key questions that you think.
Well, the most important thing was everyone's kind of tuning in was to understand what happened to the broken TV. Is Ineos going to have money enough due to the FFP restriction to buy him a new plasma screen? Or will they go and get something from the late 99 or something? Right, you know what I mean? But no, honest to God, I didn't catch everything. I didn't. But they asked him about his rage. And he said, I'm a young guy. You know, my emotions got to me. Of course, he's Southern European. He's emotional. And, you know, shit was flying. Chairs was flying. And my question is, who did wet his pants during his rage run? Because usually, what he said, I am a very quiet guy. You know, I like to sort of reflect 24 hours and I take it the day after, right? But this time he let all the biblicals come down, hail down like Monday Mary on the players. So obviously, message was delivered. They are Pamper FC. Nobody's done it since Sir Alex Ferguson. So I said, that's why I sort of brought out my hairdryer to say, fantastic, Ruben. They deserve it. And hopefully, message was delivered, right? Harry Maguire was sitting there. Obviously, he's going to start. Nothing regarding the transfer news, which is impressive. He said, I'm only here to talk about this game. They asked about Garnacho. We know what's going on with Garnacho, XYZ. We can talk about after we cover this press conference analysis. But yeah, the most important game is to win tomorrow, and that's it, right? If we finish those 2 games left, we will finish top of the group. And what you said, Mark, avoid playing playoffs so we can have more time on the pitch and training.
100%. And for me, there was like a good few questions. We had like about 15 questions, guys. I wasn't able to keep up with all 15, but I got 12 of them. I think I got the most important ones.
12 over 15, not bad, not bad.
You know, not bad. You know what I mean? But the response, what response does he expect from the players? You know, and Ruben Amorim said that I was more mad at myself than the players because it was more about me as a coach. You know, I was on about the same response and I was not helping my players. You know, I'm frustrated sometimes, that's it. And that's when he went on to say he's a young guy and these things will happen because, you know, sometimes he will not be in the right mood to express how he wants. So
you know what? My back analysis for that question. Pull that back. You know what? You know, we saw the post-match interview when he said we are the worst team, and he called everyone out. Now this is kind of him going back to normal and protecting his player, not throwing them under the bus, putting the blame on him. Wouldn't you say so?
Yeah, something like that. But at the same time, I don't think he was. I think it's fair. The players have to be accountable. Even Harry Maguire said that when he was spoken to. You know what I mean? He was asked the following question, you know, which was, what do you think about his comments after the game by the press? And Harry Maguire replied, and he was like, we have to take responsibility on ourselves. We have to work hard. It's about accountability to improve individually so that we could all contribute to the team. And I think I agree with what Harry Maguire is saying in that instance, because at the end of the day, the manager could only do so much. On the pitch, the players have to trust each other. They have to work for each other and they have to get the job done. So it's going to be one of those things.
Yeah, well, the manager can only instill the message, instill the game plan and everything. But what's going on the pitch in the first half, it's down to the players, right? The first 5 minutes we conceded the goal. There's nothing the manager can do. It comes down to the players' mental ability. We saw that in Jarvis's corner, how he was tracking Dalot, which was caught jogging, leaving an exposure and leaving to the 1-0 goal, which is absolutely conundrum.
1-0 goal against who?
Well, Dalot was kind of jogging
No,
backwards.
that was not Dalot's fault, bro.
That was not.
Don't make it up for the man them that was playing poor.
All right,
I don't think so. At least.
All right,
but Maguire was also asked after that, has it been easy on him to return to form, not being the captain? And Maguire was replied in a saying that I see myself as a leader regardless. We see a lot of scrutiny and we may be targeted, and we must take that and use that to improve. It can happen to anyone. It's part of the game, and it's part and parcel of playing for Manchester United. He went on to finish and say this club, and it's an honor to play here. So I agree. I think Maguire said everything right. I think he's finally screwed his head on, to be honest.
Yeah, he's a prime example. He's a prime example how you've been booed out, how you've been called out, and you stuck to your guns and you came back and played 3 in the back, which is kind of, the burden is off his shoulder, right? He's playing good. He's no longer carrying that responsibility. And of course, the club looked at it and gave him 1-year extension instead of, because, hey, Lindelof's going to leave. Then you have Johnny Evans is going to leave. So you need a senior figure, right? You cannot just have prodigies or, upcoming players. You need to have a mix of leaders as well. Seniors. 100%. So yeah, big up for him.
And after that, he also went on to talk, and he said that we have top players in the squad. We just need to work harder individually to become better and contribute as a team, right? And he was asked, "How are you a top Premier League players and not a good team?" And then Maguire replied, and he was like, "We have to stop looking for excuses and blaming things for why the result went the way it was. We can only look into ourselves, give our all, and try to work harder for each other so that we can improve as a team as well."
Well, there's a point, Mark. There's a point. Like, Ruben Amorim was saying, Manchester United once used to be the biggest club in the world, but we're no longer the biggest team in the world, right? And players need to bear responsibility, 100%, right? As soon as you put that shirt on, doesn't mean you made it. You have to work your socks off, right? Collectively.
You must, bro. I think it's going to be interesting to see what's going on with this team. It's like we're not.
But on paper, I agree. I agree with that statement. If you look on paper, it's not bad players. They're good players. You have De Ligt, you have Lene Yoro, you have Ugarte, you have Bruno, you have Højlund. These players used to fire. I mean, Bruno used to be a world beater in terms of stat pattern. He still is. Rasmus Højlund used to score a lot of goals, but he doesn't get any service. So yeah, there's something fundamentally wrong. Something fundamentally wrong. Yeah. So I think more as of collectively, if everyone is together, get the point, you will see like a Leicester 2026. Like nobody expected Leicester to win the league, but it was all cohesion, right?
No, we're not seeing Leicester 26 next season though. But I think it's because we change the style of play mid-season, whole new formation. I think that's the biggest problem. It has nothing to do with anything else. I think the players just confused. They're trying to get grips to, come to terms with a new formation in 2 months while playing the bulk of games in the first half of the season.
Imagine you telling all of a sudden, Dalot, you should play wing back. Wait a minute. I'm used to playing fullback all my career, pinning backwards. Same with Mazraoui. That's why they ended up playing deep instead of being higher up the pitch, and the gap was huge. They're still confused.
I don't think that's because of that. I think it's also because of situationship. I mean, when we do stats and all those things, I like to look at moving clips onto the still images, because football is not a still image. A still image happens for 0.01 seconds in a football game, so it makes no sense to even analyze it in that perspective, but more in clips. You need progression to see exactly what happened and what transpired before, like 5 seconds before, 5 seconds after. Then you could give a realistic analyzation of what was going on in that clip. Because if you just look at the clip, it could look bad, it could look worse, but it could be a situation where, I understand this happened there, that happened there.
Man, you know me. Like, I see football is very simple. It's a simple game, right? It's very simple. You don't have to overcomplicate, overthinking. I'm a man that uses analogies. Like, for instance, take football like you are trying to date score a woman, right? You're single man, right? Of course, yeah. So your job is to press to attract, yeah, to win, press to win, and then off the ball and on the ball you have to score. You know what I mean? The first instance you have to sort of get it out there, like impress, press to win, and then once you have the ball, you have to score. That's it. Once you get her
I mean,
attention.
for me, I don't even think pressing is that important unless you do have a good team. In my honest
No, but
opinion,
what I'm trying to say is equally important off the ball and on the ball, how you sort of move. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
but
they
at the
all go
same
together.
time, it works out with the players on how they perform. I mean, we lack in clinicality up front. We have a team not finding the back of the net. The biggest problem is that the players up front not finding the back of the net. So everything else, I think, is part and parcel because of that. Because if the guys create chances for the forwards and they don't score, then they work hard for nothing.
Mm.
You understand? And then the forwards don't always come
Okay.
back and
Yeah,
defend
that's
and help
fine.
defend. So it's like
Let's continue.
it's a
Let's continue
conundrum.
questions. Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, so it's like they asked Amorim, is it your fault or is it the players? And Amorim replied, he was like, it is apparent that we are more nervous at home.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because he was like, they also, oh, my bad, I picked up the wrong one. Sorry.
No, but that's what I'm
Amorim said
thinking.
it's the same players doing worse with a new coach, right? It's very hard to look for a United side that lost 7 in a row. It's all about context. It was the best point to do it when I made the point, but I'm not taking responsibility for the players or from the players. It's all of us. It's not just the players. I am more responsible as coach. And I think he makes sense there. And then they went on to ask him if it's harder to play at home than it's to play away. Sorry about the spelling, guys. Keyboard flipped into German. So the Z is where the Y is. My bad. And he replied and he was like, it's apparent that we are more nervous at home and that we play away. It's harder to calm the players down if we concede at the first goal. And it's really clear and it's getting harder and harder to play at Old Trafford. And it's one of those things, Mick, for me that, you know, like when he said that, I have noticed that for weeks. When we play away, we have less nerves because we're not in front of the faithful.
Yeah.
And I think the expectation of the fans is a little bit too great in the face of our rebuild project. That's just my opinion.
I will even backtrack it for the Garnacho incident when a fan cam criticized him and he didn't celebrate the goal. Ever since then, we know that this shirt is so heavy to carry at Old Trafford because the expectations there, 70,000 people booing, clapping, turning. So, of course, they're nervous. If they make a mistake, they get absolutely slaughtered. So I feel that the pressure when they're playing away is less, you know. So, and noticeable as well when it was COVID season, when we came second in the league, we were playing super well because there was no crowd no fans in the stadium, right? So obviously there has to be some mental block when they're playing at home at Old Trafford, and this has to change, right?
I don't think the COVID season was really comparable. I think right now, in this moment, right now is more likely. You know, we coming off the back of a bad season, an injury crisis, and the fans weren't forgiven. They weren't forgiven of the players. They weren't forgiven of the past manager. He was sacked. Now we change manager. We play in a different system, a different formation, and the fans not forgiving on the players because I mean apparently it is supposed to hit upload when they see the book, and in 2 days everything should be memorized and working. Because I mean at least that's how it feels to me. Because I don't think anybody expected us to have an up and down situation when Amorim came in. I think they thought we were going to charge the top 4, which was again.
Yeah, but one
something
thing is noticeable. They are used to getting the ways with each and single manager under Oli. You know, was slacking, Ten Hag slacking. He tried, but this guy, nah, you ain't gonna fuck around with me, mate. You know what I mean? We've seen
I don't think I would say that. We have 7 losses in a row. We never had that in our career at Man United.
Yeah, but you know what? This guy is learning on the job. This guy is learning.
All of them was learning on the job same way. I just think that
every
right now,
single opponent he meets in Premier League, Ruben, it's a new opponent that he doesn't know.
They're meeting him for the first time. It works both ways. I just think that is a situation where we need time. The manager needs time. The player needs time. It's not about they was getting this or they was getting that. They changing a whole new way of how most of them have to play. The way the midfield plays is different to how it played with the 4-4-3.
Look, just
it's
at
nowhere the same.
Look at fucking Liverpool. Like, they took him 30 years to get somewhere. Where Klopp came in, it took him 3 years to change the whole mentality and the spirit. And after that, you see how the Liverpool fans are united. As soon as you criticize, they will honor. You know, they are playing good football, right? And that's 8 years in that project right now.
10.
So yeah, I agree
10.
what you're saying. Yeah,
it's 10.
10. Yeah, but you know what? You can't judge Ruben Amorim. I see it on socials. They're saying he's players. You can only judge Ruben after he's done his transfers and
But
recruitment.
Mick, at the same time, nobody's judging Ruben on anything in that way. At least I am not doing that. But I'm not going to say that this is not his players, because I mean, we didn't say that.
Inherited, yeah.
He I mean, we bought players in our profile to play that high intensity football this summer. 5 of them. You know what I mean? And have maybe 4 or 5 players who from before that could play the same high intensity system. But
yeah,
remember,
but
last season, most of them were injured. So we were really short on players who could have played the system before last season. So I think we can't blame the previous manager every single time for what happened with the new manager.
Yeah.
We didn't really make that last season. It's like we just
at the same time, yeah, no, but at the same time, this requires specialist players, like system players for his system as well. Like, you know, you're playing 3 in the back, and the wide center backs need to have pace and cover a lot of areas, right? And then you will have the wing backs that will bomb up and down, so they also need to be defensively minded, helping out the center backs, covering a lot of space, which is something that they physically are not trained to do. Yeah, in the way they've been training, the training regime.
I don't know, because it's not like if you go and give him 6 years to rebuild the squad. And with the current climate of what we're going on with FFP, there's no way rebuilding. We're selling 8 players in August and buying 8 players this summer. So it's like, if we're going to say he not have his players, we're going to have to say that for the next 4 transfer windows, because realistically, probably that's what it's going to take to rebuild the squad. So it's like, we shouldn't say that now. We should just leave it as the manager and the players learning each other. They're working, whoever adapting, they're not fully adapted yet.
Yeah.
And they need time. And we could leave it as that. Because then we use
that excuse. Let's continue to analyze the next question as well, man. And this is fun.
This new question is, can it get any worse before it gets better? And Ruben Amorim says, football, things can change like that. He snapped his fingers. He said it's clear that, you know, anything could change like that, because a win changes the atmosphere and we can change the script tomorrow. And I think what he meant for me is that, you know, sometimes it's be dark and it's a new situation happening here. You know, I think the players are better than they're showing right now as well.
Yeah.
You know, it might have some players I think need more development. It might have some players I think need to put more effort. But realistically, they are better than what they're showing right now. But the moment they get a run going of rhythm, I think it improves. And I think the manager thinks the same.
Yeah, getting a run of games, consistency, winning games, you know, you got to also instill, like, after rain comes sunshine, you know, and that's the thing, right? Football is all about confidence, you know, winning a bunch of games, change the mood of the entire fan base, change the match-going fans, the way they see the team. We've seen it, like, you know, we've done it against City, we've done it against Arsenal, we've done it against the big teams, but it was the lesser teams what we were questioning, where is your mentality, right? So, technically speaking, we should win this game. We are the better players on the pitch. If you look at, you know, Rangers versus us. Rangers, you can arguably say they are kind of like, how would I say, Fulham at max at that level.
Possibly. They have been in really good form in the league, though. I think they even beat Tottenham, or they drew Tottenham 3-3. So, and that
Ruben
time
would
when
turn
they
this
played
around.
Tottenham was in the good run of form at that time. But it will be interesting. I think we'll win. I'm gonna be in the stadium. I have, you know what I mean. So
yeah, you're gonna be. So the question
you
I do have.
you already know, bro. I'm there. So
I know
everybody
be
can
there.
settle down now and chill.
I have a question though. The broken TV in the dressing room was used for tactics.
Yeah, it was. I have a picture by the TV so I could show it. It's like it's a big LED TV. It's a very
What
very
did he throw?
expensive
I just
television.
wondering.
It's touch
Oh
screen
my
and
God.
everything. So
he must have thrown boots and everything like you.
No, he probably just punched it. I think he punched it. Yeah,
because he had a cut.
If you look at his hand, he had a thing on his hand. I think he just punched it. So
I would love to be a fly on the wall there, right?
Not when the manager moving mad like that, bro. If I was a player.
No, but you know what? You know what they say? You know, the calm ones, when they do explode, they're the ones you should run away from. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He seems to be poetical, philosophical. He's got a long threshold. Like, but the question is, how long is a piece of string until it bursts? You know what I mean? So he basically snapped, and all hell broke loose. You know,
He
and this is
definitely
what I'm
snapped.
saying. I'm kind of that person. I'm very calm, but when I snap, I bloody snap. You know, and 1 minute later, and it's like, oh, what did I just do? Yeah.
Big up to Admiral Drex in the building. Greetings, everyone. We've seen this movie before. Aaron is coming in and he's saying it's the player's fault for underperforming. Ruben has a big task ahead of him. If you're as old as me, you remember when Ferguson first took charge. I'm not as old as you, bro. Congratulations. Because, to get to that age, it's been a long way. Big up.
It took Ferguson 3 years
But it
as
took
well
him
until he got it
6.
right.
It took him 6 years.
6 years.
Mick Ruby, don't let Mark and gaslight you. If you think Dallo was at fault, stand on business. Big up to the great one in the building. Guys, action generates reaction. Ari expects a reaction. Rightly so. Rightly so. Big up to Ricardo in the building. Oh, I have to read this comment. One second. Where is this comment?
Goals for George.
Anyway,
Big up
Sosa
Sandy as
says
well.
he broke it. He is going to have to pay for it. We give him enough wages.
They're gonna deduct wages.
I doubt they would.
Imagine him open
I
next
think
month's
they have a
pay
backup
slip.
one already, so
Yeah.
it probably
This
pops
is.
out.
Imagine he opens up the pay slip. It says Ineos, and then says pay deduction TV.
Probably. It might just be. You never know. You know what I mean? J United is saying, is Amorim turning Maguire to a man? Maybe so. To be fair, I mean, as much as I had my complaints about Maguire, right? He was always striking me at one of those players that's put his head down and work hard. And he back himself. A little bit too much, I used to think. But come down to it, you have to back yourself. You can't be a coward. You have to back yourself, bro, especially if it's an athlete. And if you don't back yourself to be the it guy, you're never going to be any guy. You know what I mean? So, yeah, maybe I'm telling him, bro.
Do Mambo
puff
number
your chest
5.
out.
Yeah, do Mambo number 5. A little bit of Monica by my side, a little bit about Rita. It's all I need. A little bit of confidence.
You get Maguire in trouble like when you went to Greece, bro.
Hey, Mykonos,
the Mykonos situation with the police officers.
Mykonos.
Anyway, Admiral Drex is saying that's okay. We had PR, we had RR who spoke like Ruben. We had ETH who was in between. We had Ollie who gave them freedom. We had player responding like Maguire, but the outcome was the same. Interesting. Fans calling for someone new because the manager system doesn't suit what we have. Yeah, I saw that on X, bro. I don't really pay attention to that, but it's just facts that we saw that on X.
Big up, Ricardo.
Big up, Ricardo, in the building. There's something very important. The objective is the goal, but we don't always have to run to the goal. Biggest statement there, Ricardo. The most important thing is possession of the ball. That's why they tremble at home. And this is what I've been saying, Ricardo. Like when we're in possession, it seems to me like there's forgetting certain moments. They need to keep moving. Triangles. Pass the ball back if you have to, but don't hold it over. Hold the ball, but you don't need to hold the ball at your feet. You could hold the ball in possession with passing it to other players. If you understand what I mean.
Yeah,
the point of football is keeping the play moving so that you could always be creating spaces and as players move. To get through the other team. So
creative spaces, and that's what Brighton used to do all the time. Like they used to do triggers, like you saw Welbeck was pushing forward, meaning that they had triggers that the wing back or whatever saw that he was pushing, dragging the defender forward, and all of a sudden you have runs from behind from the winger. Yeah, we don't do that. We are too static. 100%.
Yeah,
it's
guys had
fluid.
to use the overlap. We had to share the ball around a little bit more. Some of the guys, they're not sharing the ball around right. I think we need to pass more. We need to go back to the focus. Maybe Amorim need to start telling these guys what Alex was telling guys. You see this guy? When he's in the box, if the ball is not going to him, I will bench you. Because maybe then they will start providing service. And I think a lot of people don't understand. When all the balls go into the striker, then the wingers have more opportunities to cut in and do things, because then everybody will be focused on balls coming into the box.
Yeah.
Who can
I
change
liked
Rashid
it.
into a man? No one, bro. I don't
Behind,
think anyone
yeah,
can do that, bro.
himself. No, but
Ten Hag tried.
this resonates from Bruno's first, not Bruno, and Ruben's first match conference interview that was in the Europa League, when he said it's up to Rashford to want it. He was very specific and clear. You know, I can do certain things, but it's down to you to take it, right? I can coach you in the boxing ring and give you confidence to go 12 rounds with Mike Tyson, but it's down to you to fight and try to knock him down. It's all up here, right? It's your will, right? I can only instill my confidence in you, my belief in you, Mark, that you can reach 100,000 subscribers, but it's your graft that will lead to the 100,000 subscribers. If you know, you know.
100%. You know what I mean? Like Jamrock saying, you know, the manager could still play a 3-4-3 with 2 wide forwards instead of playing 2 10s. And he might get more from the team. You never know. But technically, that's what we've been doing. You know what I mean? So it's by the by. I think we need to be a little bit patient. I think he's doing the right thing. Currently, Ten Hag tried to get results while building a team on a different trajectory. This manager want to get the team in the system fully and not really tweak anything. You know, so
but have you noticed lately
sacrifices
at
must
Old
be made.
Trafford? Lately at Old Trafford, he's been kind of parking the bus by playing 5 in the back. I mean, it's not deliberately, but when he starts playing Mazarawi and Dalot as wingbacks, they're not used to that, right? So they end up by default sitting more deeper, so it becomes a back 5 at Old Trafford. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I don't
Hopefully
like to see Mazarawi and Dalot in the left wing back. I be so real. I always say it. Start Anthony in right wing back. He pairs up with Ahmad very well. We are more productive.
You have
in
to go
300
to
minutes, 9
Petit.
goals. Forget Ahmad. 300 minutes, 9 goals from the two of them playing
but
together.
Mazarawi is more better to.
He's better for the right centre back.
Centre back,
the
right
end.
centre.
The end. Him and Dalot, they should be options as right and left centre back, no more. They shouldn't be playing no wing back role. That's just me, but I'm not the manager. You know what I mean? I'm not mad at him for it either. I just disagree. You know, I could let him do his thing just like I let Ten Hag do his thing. But I do agree with George on this, because Ten Hag said at the beginning of the season, I can't work magic like Harry Potter. The media laugh at him, the fans laugh at him, everybody laughs at him. Amorim says the storm is coming. What's so different from that? It has no difference there in those statements. He's understanding why I'm pretty sure he's on the phone with Ten Hag now. Like, brother, I know what you was going through.
Brother, he also said we were prepared to suffer. Look, I instantly started to see a Shaolin monk, you know, whipping his back with this, you know, whip, like, suffer. You know, because he knew probably when he signed up for this deal that, hey, this is a new system. This is a place they're not used to it. They, technically speaking, if I look at the stats, they are the team that run the least in the whole Premier League, right? So how do I get a tune out of it? That's his dilemma, right? So we are suffering, and I'm suffering with him. I feel his pain when he's speaking.
I was already suffering with Ten Hag. I say I go suffer with this manager the same way. Yeah, I was here for it already. You know, I don't know why. I don't. You know, listen. This is just me. Nothing right now we're going through is anything different from last season. The only difference is we didn't have an injury crisis.
Yeah. No,
So
apparently he's done it to
different,
Dortmund.
bro. I want, bro, like stat wise, like, you know, in the runner games, we was better last season during our injury crisis. But you see, it's the progression. No matter how you look at it, whether I want Amorim to stay, I just look at it that how the fans want to start turning on him soon. It will happen, Mick, if we don't start winning some games. But the realistic thing that you could see from both sides and both managers is that we need a lot more time to get back to where we need to be. We need more time to rebuild the squad. Whether it was either one, especially for this guy who here now, Ruben Amorim, he needs more time. He needs a squad rebuild. He needs at least 6 more players into the squad before we could actually do everything he wants.
We have luxury to have Ricardo Pereira, which is a FC Porto fan, and he's saying that, you know, I'm FC Porto, which are deep shit, by the way. You know, before Ruben came in, the ex-manager didn't win shit for 20 years and stuff. But what he did over a period of 4 or 5 years, he changed things around, right? He did. He had the opportunity to do whatever he wanted, brought in youth, but you can't just come in 3/4 of a season, 9 games in, and start integrating youth. That's not working. You know what I mean? You look at the first team players, what can I do to get the best out of him? How can they adapt to my system? But I would say now against you in the Europa League, give more kids a chance. You know what I mean? Bring up some youth. But
Right now, we can't afford to do
you
nothing like
can't
that
afford
in the
because
Europa
you have
League.
to get points. You have to win
No,
games.
we have to get Europe next season.
Yeah.
If we, I just telling man that I saying it to everybody now. If we don't get Europe next season, scratch your heads now, because we're not signing more than 3-4 players in the summer. There's no way we're spending more than 200 million in the summer. No way,
No,
absolutely none. If we do, and brother, if we don't get Europe, bruh, I don't even want to say this because I don't want it to be true. So I'm not even going to finish that sentence.
Well, the only hope is to win the whole Europa League to get into Champions League.
No, we could win FA Cup as well. We have 2 opportunities to go into Europe. We could stay in Europa.
Yeah, but if you win FA Cup, you get into Europa League. But if you win Europa League, you win.
You get into SUCL.
Champions.
No, exactly. But what I'm saying is we have 2 opportunities guaranteed that more sure to get us into Europe and stay in Europe next season. Whether you look at it as UCL or you look at it as Europa League. Either way, we will spend.
But this is where I feel confident because our team, our current squad, is more of a cup team than a Premier League team, right? We do well in these cup matches and knockout phases than going a full run in the away and at home in Premier League.
Possibly. I think we could go. I'm not worried about the Prem, to be honest. I was never worried about the Prem, not even under Ten Hag.
That ship is sailed.
So worst of all, under Amorim, I don't even care. Like literally, as long as you don't finish sub-10th, I giving him a pass. I already give him a pass because when they sacked Ten Hag, they write off the season. So it was never something where we were sacking Ten Hag and we was going to suddenly get top 4. That was never happening. You know, so for me, it was always a long haul and even longer because of what he wanted to do. Play his formation through it all with no tweaks. Of course, this is what we wanted Ten Hag to do with the Ajax style, but he didn't do it at the time.
We have, listen to this. We playing match day 23 out of 38. So what? We have 15, 16, 17 games. What? No, 38, 33 plus. Yeah, about 15 games to go in the Prem.
Yeah, we have 15 games to go in the Prem.
Okay.
I don't know about you, but I don't really want to talk about that because every time I think about the amount of games we have left,
26
and
points.
I think about one figure in my head. If we don't win 10 of them 15, brother, it could be long.
Yeah, but we're sitting on 20.
Talking about this again.
We are sitting on 26 points, 15 games. You're looking at the gap between 13th to 4th. Chelsea is currently sitting on 4th, right? On 40 points. That's a massive gap, mate. That's a massive gap. That's like 14 points to play for, right? That's more than 3 games you have to win and others have to lose. I don't see us getting into top 4.
I don't even know why we're talking about top 4.
That
makes no sense. Absolutely none.
Because we're fans.
We shouldn't even do that as fans because we're setting up Amorim to fail doing that. We setting up the man to fail talking top 4. I tell men that.
I just say, release the fury, guys. Right? Amorim did crap on you. You have to crap back on the football. Like do it on the pitch. Is what a lot of people were saying. I can read the comments and they say, like, talk is cheap. You can come with excuses. You can say, like Harry Maguire in the press conference, whatever. We heard this story before. We don't care. Show it, play it like you mean it on the pitch, right? That's all we care about as fans. If you do that, no problems with me. But so many times we see players coming out after the game and in press conferences say, oh, it's not good enough and this and this and that. Man, show it on the pitch.
Yeah, Talk is cheap right now. I've always been saying that with these players. Too much of niceties, man. Hear these players say, oh, I'm going to do this. Oh, I'm going to do that. Don't say this to me. I don't care. I never cared. Because I grew up in an era where players, when they did They say they was going to do something. They went on the pitch and did it. They didn't say it. They went and did it. You know what I mean?
Mark, you know what I will do if I had all the money in the world or the privilege and access? I will personally come in every single game with my hairdryer and I will blow the hell out of them, to be honest, right? With a vengeance. Come on. Play it like you mean it. 15 games.
Hopefully.
And cup games.
Yeah, Mick, if we get ready late, we get relegated, we could, make it do a tour of the championship stadiums from Barnsley, Doncaster, Charlton, and Plymouth. That would be an interesting round trip. The real far apart. Big up the Prana in the building.
Yo. Nah, we're not going to get relegated.
Nah, bro. Like, even if, guys, like, if there's one thing I would say, worst case scenario, we finish sub 8. Worst case. Best case, 7, 8. But really and truly, guys, this is just my opinion again. I know Mick thinks top 4 is a possibility.
Nah, it's not.
However,
I never said that.
No.
I never said that. I just looked at that mathematically and I said, well,
no, and mathematically, it's a possibility if we win
it's
all
a possibility.
Games. If we win all 15 games, it's a possibility. I won't deny that. But for me,
wax off.
I'm on the trip where let's focus on Europa League. Let's focus on FA Cup. Europa League, in my opinion, is easier to win. Easier to win because, listen, we are not going to have to play Tottenham, Real Betis, or whoever, all of those teams. If we win tomorrow, or when we win tomorrow, I should say, because I will be there when we win tomorrow.
You'll be there. I want us to do
all we have to do is worry about who we're going to be drawn against.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I want us to do Mr. Miyagi here, a Karate Kid, the sweep. Yeah. So wax on, wax off, wax on, wax off. Yeah. The sweep. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I didn't say top 4, but I'm saying that mathematically, just go and do the sweep, right?
Yeah,
just do the sweep.
Get the cup. Forget it all else. If fans mad at me for saying this, I apologize. But this season, there was no way after sacking Ten Hag, I saw we was going to get back into top 4, right? Because for me, we started off poorly. But realistically, when you think about it, all these brothers was preparing, even the ones who was injured in preseason, to play one week.
Yeah, listen, are we somehow sponsored by Boost, these headsets? Are we? Because my solution is to the players, when you're playing at Old Trafford, give them out this noise cancellation headpieces so they don't hear anything what the crowd is saying, and just play. And you can give them instructions. Maguire?
4K. Just remember, bro, I tell you, we finishing above 10th. And I know we will probably finish above 9, bro.
But
listen, don't believe me. When it happens, I will be collecting. Don't forget, I will come to collect.
Yo, go back, do your research. Where did Chelsea sit exactly this time of the year?
Let's not do that.
No. Listen.
Chelsea had a balanced squad, Mick.
No. Chelsea was sitting exactly where we were sitting last season. But they had a mad run. They had a sprint at the end. So Premier League is not about Premier League is a sprint, not a marathon. It's how you finish, right? So if you can finish on a winning streak, what is to say you can get into 6th or 5th? Depends on what other people are doing. But we're not going to jinx it. I believe in football in God's mark.
Yo, Drex, this is the one thing I disagree with you, and I will forever disagree with you on. When it comes to a cup, you have to have character. You have to be able to turn it on in that moment because it has no second chance.
But that's what we've been doing.
In the cups. We are undefeated in the cup right now, brothers. Just want everybody to remember. We are undefeated in the cup.
Yeah. That's it. That's why I said we are a cup team. Yeah.
That's fine for now. In our rebuild, that's okay. I don't know why them so upset. It's a rebuild. We being a cup team in the moment, at least we get into multiple cup finals.
But that's what I believe. The mental capacity of these players is limited. Like they're like Doris the goldfish. You can only take in small portions. But when you look at the mental road ahead of to see it out through the whole Premier League season, they crumble, they cave. But
you can't. In our rebuild, the problem, the matter is that everybody want to win everything in a rebuild. How could you want to win everything when you rebuilding and everybody said that they believe Ralph Ragnick, open heart surgery? Tell me, until this summer that just passed, Did we have any open heart surgery or anything close to open heart surgery? No. So then, therefore, the rebuild was not rebuilding for 18 months. It
We
just
have
began this summer, really and
excuse
truly
me.
set off in our embarkment. You know,
Fan base,
right?
excuse me for what I was saying. We have an open ass surgery right now. Everything is shit, but it will be better, right?
I
Not
wouldn't even
open
say
heart.
that, bro. Like,
Bro,
you
nah,
see, this
let's
is why
continue.
we're not growing. This is why the team not going anywhere. This is why we're not developing young players. Because right when it's tough, our first response is to say everything is shit. And I don't like that, guys. I think as United fans, we're stronger than that. Trust.
Well, you know
I
what?
mean,
We
it's
have
bad.
own,
We're not
you
saying
know,
it's great, but it ain't shit. Because you know what shit? Southampton on 6 points after what 20 something games. That's a shit, right?
well, we can
We
talk about.
are in a difficult situation.
Yeah, but you know, for a long time, for a long period of time, we've been shit because we've been run shit, and fan base has got it used to it. Is you know when you crap on somebody and all of a sudden, for a very long time, and you know they get used to the smell. I'm sorry. On the left, you have the glazes of the left butt cheek. On the right now we have Ineos, and in the middle we have the shit. Yeah, the
Yeah,
strip.
but here all
I'm
going
sorry.
on. It had Mark Ken moving with a pressure washer to try and keep it off of the fan base right now. So,
Fan.
like I saying to you, right? I understand
Okay,
and shit, but you hear this, right, Mick? And all of you guys here, if you all believe in manifestation and words have power, right? Think about it like this, right? Just look at this prospectively. I could be wrong, but take Garnacho. When he first drip fed into the team in Ten Hag first season, we hype him to the moon. The second season, even though he wasn't great, he was performing much better than most, and he was getting hyped, and his performances were getting better, right? Ahmad came onto the scene, burst onto the scene, had a great performance, hype. This season, he come hype. He performing well, hype. He's performing even better. Keep going up. Garnacho had a bad run of games. He shit. His performance keep going down.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is not that we can't criticize players, but at some point we have to remember that this is our players. These ain't nobody else's team. And hear me, we cannot be criticizing our players more than rivals. We're worse than the rivals.
This is the funny part when you analyze the fan base, they're bigging players up and then they're tearing down. And that's why we have that strip in the middle, which we call the shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, that butt cheek needs to be closed like a camel's ass. Like a camel. Like a camel.
Close it with shit in it, bro.
Like a camel in a sandstorm. You need to tighten that asshole. Don't get that shit.
The important thing is, Mick, in my honest opinion, this is our team. As whoever, if you think they're bad or they're not the finished article, I hear that we not being the owners is shit. Cool, step them aside, because realistically, the owners not on the pitch, and realistically, I could be honest with you all and say this: it have many successful companies in the world, Fortune 500, and the owners are shit, but the workers, the effort and enthusiasm that come from the workers is what built those companies to the top.
Yeah,
so it's not always amazing bosses. I get it. You need amazing bosses. But listen, if you as an individual don't put out what you want to get back, you will never get it, bro. Never. And you cannot tell me Ronaldo came here suddenly amazing, because this brother worked harder than everybody. Whether anyone think he was a phenom when he came or not, that brother trained harder than everybody. So
Yeah,
what
but
that
listen to
says,
this.
work ethic.
Listen to this. I know we are swimming in a pile of shit. I know we like to criticize and blame everyone, but think about it. Ineos is there as the janitor at the moment, trying to clean up the shit so we can have in the future it'd be better. I understand what you're trying to do.
Janitor, bro. Them is middle management executives, bro. Them is part parcel with the shit.
Yeah, but even the janitor can miss a spot here and there. You know what I mean?
Then he need to lose his job, bro. Because we can't have kids running around in the halls with shit stains. Yeah, man. No,
Skid marks.
I'd be so real. I be
Mark?
so real, bro. Like, it's serious business when it comes to these things. And when it comes to
Mark?
Man United, bro. Yeah,
Mark,
I can't have that, bro.
are you ready to laugh now?
No, I gotta go.
Hold your horses. Hold your horses. Hold your horses. Skid mark.
Guys, it's been a blinder. We love you all. We'll be back later on. Big up to all of you. Don't forget to smash the likes on MUFC Realist TV. Big up to Mick Ruby with the hair dryer treatment, bro. You know I took my hair out of the braids. But anyway, it is what it is. Big up to everyone in the chat. Thank you so much for joining us today. We had a wonderful time. We'll be back later on with the match preview. Of course, Mick, I know he will be here at some point in time. He always pops up. But definitely, guys, tune in tomorrow for the watch along. Your boy will be in Manchester, so you know Drex and Mick and these guys will be hosting tomorrow. Please tune in, smash the likes, and let's enjoy. Of course, I will call in from the stadium. You know how I do it, guys. Big up to all of you, and have a wonderful day. Mick.
Thanks, you guys. Yeah. Bro.
Don't ever do the skid mark thing again, bro.
We'll do that.
Right after we talk about all that shit, bro. Bro.
Oh.
All right,
wow.
I gotta hit the outro. Guys, we are out of here.
Skid mark.